Well, a very good morning and thank you for joining us on Everyday Life. We're live here in the Kampala Serena Hotel at the celebrations of World No Tobacco Day. And I'm joined here by the National Focal Person for Tobacco Control at the Ministry of Health as they launch a report, study report on the cost implications, on the health costs of tobacco. A very good morning to you, Sheila.
Good morning.
Dr. Sheila, I should add. What, as a national focal person for tobacco control, what does the No Tobacco Day mean to you?
The World No Tobacco Day is very important because this is a day which was set up by all the countries of WHO to be a day to sensitize the general public about important issues about tobacco. Started mainly talking about tobacco or health because initially it was to alert the public about the health dangerous effects of tobacco on health. But as research continued, we realized that there are also other socio-economic issues. So each year a theme is selected to be focused on and to educate public, policymakers, enforcers, and everybody to be able to act in that area.
Okay. The theme for this year, 2017, is tobacco, a threat to development. Would you say that it has threatened development in Uganda?
Tobacco has actually threatened development because research done by Makerere University Institute of Policy and Policy Research Unit found out that the areas, tobacco growing areas, that's mostly the West Nile and Bunyoro region, where tobacco is grown, mapped very well together with the areas where there was a chronic poverty. And even other studies done by the School of Public Health in Chiriandongo district, where we are comparing households which grow tobacco and neighboring households which are not growing tobacco, it also proved that this was true. Apart from just poverty, general poverty, we find that these households which grow tobacco have food insecurity because they put most of their land under tobacco growing and they grow little food. Tobacco is a labor-intensive crop, does not give them time to grow crops and look after themselves. And tobacco is a business, is a monopoly. So the tobacco industry decides the prices, decides how much they should pay. And in addition to that, whereas many people think that the country gets a lot of revenue from tobacco,
yes, through taxation.
Through taxation, it is very paltry compared to the astronomical profits which the tobacco industries get. Because they only contribute 70 billion. And that one, if you look at a 26 trillion budget as of the one of the last financial year, that is less than 0.2% of the budget. So, really we don't get much. But look at how much we spend on health. It's a lot more. Because the health cost study found out that actually more than 108 billion is spent on treatment of tobacco-related illnesses annually. And that does not include the indirect costs to the family, the travel, and all the other costs. Because when you add them, it becomes more than 240 billion. So, if you are getting 70 billion as taxes, and these are the costs which we have done, we have not looked at, we have not costed the food insecurity, we have not costed the malnutrition, we have not costed the loss of life, which I don't think has the price.
Indeed, it doesn't. What success can we as Uganda celebrate on a day like today?
On a day like this, one celebrates that Uganda is one of those countries which ratified the convention to make it easy for us to be able to put in place policies and laws to control tobacco. Also celebrate the passing of a very strong Tobacco Control Act, which has had the tobacco industry running around like rabbits because they realize that once this law is implemented fully, then their business will be threatened. But that is maybe our intention because we want to reduce the use of tobacco. We also want to celebrate that the case which was taken to court, we know we still have a petition to answer because they are saying our law is unconstitutional, but they had wanted actually to put an injunction on the law. We have started sensitizing people who have been around the country telling the district leaders and the public about the law, they wanted it to be suspended. We celebrate that the Constitutional Court judges, in their wisdom, saw that that was not the right thing to do, because this is a law for protection of health. So the law is fully in force. So today, yes, we are celebrating the coming into full force of the Tobacco Control Act 2015 on 18th May 2017.
Okay, as we celebrate that law, I'm sure many of our viewers will agree that in Uganda, enforcement is very low, is very poor. You know, we have so many very nice, well-written laws on paper, but they're not enforced. So are you saying we shall not see people smoke 50 meters from public spaces and that kind of thing anymore?
I want to assure you that it's actually this law is already being felt. I don't know how often you see somebody smoking in your vicinity in this country. You could actually spend a day without seeing somebody smoking out there in space. And this is not true in many countries.
And this is because of the law?
This is because of the law. Because through the law, people have realized this is dangerous, and they're enforcing it themselves. They don't allow people to smoke around them. I'm sorry to mention a very unfortunate incident in Amuria, where one person was actually killed because he was smoking in the vicinity of another person. So if in a rural place as far as Amuria, the law is known, how about the people who are more literate, who are watching the news and so on? So we have done a job of raising awareness, and we are depending a lot on the public to enforce. We trust our enforcers, but we know this is a social problem, and social problems, enforcement is much better done by the public.
Okay, where do you see us going in next year, May 31st, when we are celebrating World Tobacco Day? What progress do you hope to have made?
By May 31st, we shall have had all the detailed regulations on the small nitty-gritty of the law. They will be already in place. We shall have the Tobacco Control Committee fully active, and we believe that we shall have sensitized each and everybody, all the enforcers. We shall have trained them. So we hope to have a bigger proportion of our country being a smoke-free environment compared to today.
Okay. Today is World No Tobacco Day, and I'm speaking to the National Focal Person for Tobacco Control, Ministry of Health. What message would you like Ugandans or those watching us to know on such a day like this?
I want to inform fellow Ugandans that it has not changed. Tobacco is harmful in all its forms, and there is no safe level of tobacco use and exposure to tobacco smoke. Secondly, tobacco has no benefit at all for the human body. It only stimulates the brain a little for a short time, and that stimulation goes away. So I want to encourage everybody that it is your duty to protect yourself from tobacco use and exposure to tobacco smoke, but also protect others. It is an obligation as a citizen that to protect others, because this is a health matter. It is not about business, it is not about politics. This is health, and the biggest asset we have is our health.
Our health.
Yeah.
You mentioned tobacco in all its forms, and I'm just wondering very quickly, e-cigarettes and shisha or shisha, are they less dangerous? Shisha and the e-cigarettes and chewed tobacco are all
dangerous, and that's why we banned them, because apart from being dangerous, they are very difficult to regulate.
Okay, we have got to end it here as a guest of honor, who is the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health, Honorable Jenna Cheng, walks into the room. But Morning at NTV will continue after this break.